Did you miss me doing this? If so, welcome to another, turning your amazing art into my mediocre sculptures. Hey Greens, welcome to the first art to sculpture of 2019. I'm super excited. I want to do more of these. I think last year I only did 10, so let's aim for at least 12. The first drawing I chose out of a couple. Remember, I'm not just doing one, I'm gonna do a few of them for today. So make sure you stay tuned because don't leave me after the first one, okay? I have more to show you. The first drawing we're going to be tackling today is by Lucy. And Lucy made this really cool snake-looking dragon, and the claws kind of remind me of like chicken feet. And I absolutely love the colors because, you know, I'm a huge fan of purple.
As I said, I'm a huge fan of purple. I completely forgot that on the left side of the screen, my background is mostly dominated by purples.
So it kind of brought me by the heartstrings. Yeah, the heartstrings. If you're curious how to submit your art for sculpture, and I wanted to say a huge thank you to hundreds of submissions. It's not easy having to pick only 3 or 2 of them per video. So I wanted to say thank you, and I'll do my best to get as many in as possible. So here are the rules. First, it has to be your original creation, no fan art. Second, it has to be well colored in. And of course, digital makes it easier for me to see the colors. Third, a really good picture has to be taken or scanned. Fourth, no humans or humanoids. I just don't do humans, I like creatures. Fifth rule, ideally it should be on square paper. It makes it easier for me to insert it into the thumbnail. And lastly, the only thing you have to do is make sure you hashtag NerdECrafter on Instagram with the hashtag ClayThis. That's pretty much it. This week's shoutouts go to Emma Cataloni, Miss Scarlet Art, Hope S Dreams, and DillMonkey345. If you want a shout out in my Friday videos, don't forget to hashtag Nerdification Squad in the comment section below within the first 45 minutes of your video's release, or hashtag NerdECrafter on Instagram or Twitter anytime with any of your creations. What I really love about this particular picture is really the contrast in the colors. We have purple contrasting with the yellow and the blue with the orange. I want to keep the same essence, but of course take my own creative liberties. And to do that, I'm going to start by doing a purple that's not quite the same. So I'm going to take a bit of a fuchsia and mix it with the Sculpey Souffle. In case you're wondering, I do use Sculpey clay. It's not sponsored, it's just my favorite polymer clay. One of the first things I do when I mix a new batch of color is I look at the project, and if I know that there's going to be wings or limbs, the first thing I do is I remove part of that color, put it aside. I'm like, you are gonna go over there because I need you for later. All right, we're gonna use this one. Why am I whispering?
When it comes to making dragons, the base that you should have really is technically a snake, kind of like a thick carrot, and then you add the head. One of the things that you should know about working with clay is that a lot of the background work has to do with smoothing pieces in together. So if things look pretty smooth, that's because half the time behind cameras is spent smoothing things. Let me introduce you to one of the loves of my crafting life. Look at this perfect flat surface. If ever you're going to be working with clay, try to get a pasta machine. I got mine off of a thrift store. I think I paid something like $5 for it, so don't overpay for anything like that. I know they sell the ones in the craft shops that say, you know, a specific brand, but trust me, it's no different than a real pasta machine. I mean, look at this machine. Look at it! It's clearly advertised as a clay machine, but just buy a used pasta roller machine. I'm not gonna use it for food either way.
So many of you Grains were telling me that you got polymer clay for Christmas, and you were also telling me that there was just a little too much dirt on your piece. What I would recommend is getting rubbing alcohol. It's not at a craft store. I got mine at a pharmacy. I would say 70% or higher is definitely good. And you use a Q-tip and you rub it on the dirt and it just comes off very safely. And yes, it's okay to be baked afterwards, as long as you don't drown it in the alcohol. Then you know you went overboard. See, if you look closely here, there's some fluff and glitter and things. All you have to do is take your Q-tip and just keep rubbing this way. And eventually it'll also remove your fingerprints, thankfully. You don't want anyone taking that to the crime scene.
Adding the spikes is really fun, but if you have cold hands like mine, things don't usually want to stick to each other. But I think most of you have the opposite issue of me. Most of you end up having pretty warm hands. For the limbs, I decided to put eye pins so that they hold a lot firmer. And then I went ahead and baked that piece for about 15 minutes. That way I save my progress. On to the wings. A very easy way to make wings is to make a snake make a little triangle, and then make the inside of the wing. As I was looking at the picture, I realized that the inner part of the wings were blue, so they weren't all the same color. On to our little chicken feet. Once I put them together, I remembered that the side of my tool has this really cool texture that does kind of look like scales. I didn't mention, but your best friend really is Liquid Sculpey because it's just going to make things stick together better and a lot, more permanently.
Alright, obviously I didn't take gravity into consideration because, drawings are not bound by the same rules as clay. And the wings are not going well at all because the second I lift it to stand, even though it was standing fine without this, look at that, the wings are just drooping. No, stop it, stay. So what I'm going to have to do is bake it laying down and hope that the legs don't get too distorted so that when I bring it back up, it can still stand.
Spoiler alert, I messed up.
Technically, the smart thing to have done is put the actual pin into the wing, bake the wing, and then put it into the non-baked body.
I love how I know what's the right thing to do, but I don't do it. But let's be honest here, it was already too late at that point because I already baked the dragon.
Sometimes Jackie's not smart. I think we have no choice but to pray to the baking gods. Put your hands together. Dear baking gods of Evermore, please protect my piece from cracks, burns, and fallen limbs. And also,
stop breaking my stuff!
It's so cute. But there is one problem. Remember the whole issue we had with the wings and we had to bake it, and I was worried about the legs and standing? So here it is standing. Normally this is okay. You see, like this. It's almost like it's skating. It's like, whoa, moving sides. I had a feeling this would it's so slanted. Let's just call it Pisa. Like the Leaning Tower. I tried to be funny. It doesn't always work. So other than the fact that it is a pizza, I think it's really cute and I absolutely love the colors. I love the design. Lucy, you did a great job. This is so cute. I would love to one day maybe take one of these art to sculptures and make it into an actual big piece of sculpture because these guys are little tiny prototypes. It's not like I'm making a huge piece, but imagine if I made this as an epic sculpture. That would be a really fun idea. I should do that.
Self-inspiration.
I don't know how to put... Okay, just stay there, buddy. Stay. And, wait, come here. The next piece we're going to be doing is by Glorified Boy. There's something mystical and there's a lot of feelings about this piece. This creature, even though it's floating and emitting light from its wings, there's something a little melancholic about it. What is melancholic? Word of the day. So I love these contrasting feelings of emitting light, but at the same time, you have this feeling of it not feeling complete. I feel like we're getting pretty deep here. Maybe I'm just projecting my own feelings. I'm really excited to do this piece. It seems simple, but I really want to try and mimic that fluffiness that's in this piece. Wow. Wow, can't talk. Wow.
My first instinct to make this little fluffy creature was to just kind of add bulk, smooth it in, and then figure it out as I went along. But that proved to be a very bad idea, because all it looked like was just that it had muffin rolls everywhere. So I resorted to my favorite method, which is taking a little needle and kind of going into little circles until it becomes fluff. It is also a really good way to make grass texture. Looks like a furry blue peanut. For the wings, I took the exact same color I used for the previous dragon, but less blended. There are so many great ways to make butterfly wings with translucent liquid Sculpey. Maybe in a future video, I'm gonna do that and you grains will see it. For the hands, all right, what's this purple doing here? Get out. Let me introduce you to Pearlex powder. I love seeing the transformation color when you put Pearlex powders on polymer clay. It just changes and looks so epic. It's like having metal, but it's not really metal. The face was very simple. It reminded me kind of a mask and just putting on the beak, which was pretty straightforward. I would have to say that out of all the clay sculptures that I made today, this one was the simplest. Although, don't be fooled, just because it's simple, it doesn't mean it didn't take that much time, because all that little fluffing. When you use Pearl-X powders, the clay will not stick to each other. I'm telling you, they will not stick to each other. So it is super important that you use liquid Sculpey. I really wanted the yellow on the wings to be popping exactly like it is in the picture, but for some reason, that yellow that was not gold rubbed off as gold. So we're gonna go back into that and correct it later on.
Alright, so I'm not fully satisfied with the yellow part here because I really thought it would be a lot more sunshine yellow. So I took out my 3D paint and we're just gonna go around this area. Even if it does make a little bit of a contour, that's okay. It's like illuminating in different places. And then I'm gonna set it aside and let it dry, and then we're gonna do the full montage of all 3 pieces at the end. I feel like today's theme is wings because all 3 creations have wings. And so the last piece was actually a piece submitted to me probably as one of the first ones when the series started. And then they resubmitted again. So I want to say thank you, Marcel Bloch, for still being an amazing green. I feel like that could be a song.
Amazing green, how sweet the salt.
Amazing green. And what caught my attention initially from this piece is how angular the edges look. So I really want to mimic the angles and the way it kind of looks like a PlayStation 1 video game character. And you know me, creatures. For those of you who are saying,
Yaki, you need to challenge yourself a little more.
the answer is I agree with you 100%. I have amazing projects lined up that are going to take my skill level and challenge them to a whole other skill set. But I'll keep that for that future series. It's going to be a really big surprise. So I'm super excited about it. So if you want to see me test my skills, I do have a series where I will be doing that. But without further delay, let's make that demon creature. And since I'm kind of running out of red, I'm going to pretend I want to challenge myself and make it into a small piece, says the person who has no more red clay left.
To make rectangular or square pieces, the best thing to do is take your piece and flatten it onto your work surface. Ideally, you should be using a blade or something that is flat and just keep pushing it on all different sides. Looking back at old video games, they used to be so squarish. Maybe that's where Square Enix came from? No. So this piece really did bring back some nostalgic feelings of gaming, and I really wanted to do it justice. When you think back of video gaming, which one is your old but favorite? So it doesn't have to be any of the recent stuff. I'm really curious to know what's your old but gold. I think for me, the Sukuden series, which is the first and second, were my favorite of all time. The reason I didn't bake the wings this time is because it's pretty small. The smaller the wings are, the less you have to worry about gravity, because, you know, it weighs less.
Here they all are. I am absolutely in love with all of them. This little butterfly birdie that glows in the dark has a lot of emotions based on the actual drawing. It's a good job on that. Our little dragon Pisa is definitely a little slanty, but we love him anyways. It doesn't matter if Pisa is leaning. We love it regardless. And then lastly, this little PlayStation 1 creature, that's what I'm calling it, has caught my attention ever since it was posted the first time almost a year ago. Which one of these 3 recreations is your favorite? Remember to vote. I'm very curious to know. I'm not gonna tell you which one's my favorite, but I'll comment it in the comment section below, obviously. Actually, I'll put it in the description box below. Aha, tricked you there, didn't I? Clever. Aha. Actually, before I let you grains go, it's been a while since I unboxed one of these. I am not affiliated, not sponsored. I just like opening them once in a while because I'm a dork at heart. So let me show you what I got inside. So this is the December box. Da 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 da. Ooh. Okay. We get a Naruto Pop Figure. I was just looking at this thing here and I'm just slightly disappointed because I'm okay with not having Aizawa because I have Aizawa, but I think I would have liked to have Midoriya instead, because I stopped watching Naruto a long time ago. Never really watched Railgun, but we got the sticker, so I'll be putting that on the side of my desk. Another anime I'm not familiar with, so I'll be adding it to my list to check out. High School Zombie Chirp. Oh my god, I can't talk. An exclusive ninja headband. Let's find out which
which village this one belongs to. Wow, I am so clumsy. Okay, so this is an empty headband. I guess you can carve whatever town you want. And last but not least, I saw a preview of this one, so I'm super excited to make it. So we have an awesome t-shirt with Midoriya facing a Nomu. That is so cool. I'm gonna be wearing that hardcore. So that is all we got with the theme of courage. If you're interested in checking out next month's theme, I'll put it over here. You can check them out. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated. I just get these boxes, they send them to me, and I like opening them once in a while. Although I wish we had something Todoroki themed too.
Thank you so much for watching, my little brains. And if you're not a grain yet, why don't you become part of the Salt Shaker family? The perks, high levels of sodium. So you have to make sure that you get checked often so it doesn't go too much. If you want to watch a salty video, make sure you check it up here. If you want to watch a crafting video, check it out down there. Until then, I will see you in the next video.